Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. I think I kind of framed it pretty well tonight. It actually stayed fairly put. Not really thrilled about the blanket being in the shop, but can't do much. I hope everyone had a great weekend. It was a really, really nice weekend here in Florida. Went to a couple of different events and I put some pictures up on social media from the big one, the Englewood um, Dearborn Street show, and that was the same day as Cars on Fifth in Naples. So it was one of those pick and choose, and I had a whole bunch of stuff to do here, uh, personal stuff. So I didn't really have time to go down to Naples. So I just did the Dearborn one, which was pretty close. Really great cars, really cool people. Check out the pictures on that I put up on Facebook and Instagram. Really, really nice rides, and tons more car stuff coming up. We've got Summer Nats at Freedom Factory. We're going to be doing more Altima prep for the next Altima 600. We have Lemons coming up in a couple of months, a month and a half. No, it's like 8 weeks. It's like 2 months. And then we have a whole bunch of other events. So definitely, hit the subscribe button. I'll update you guys when if I'm here or if I'm in the shop in Ohio. Definitely keep you guys updated on all of the cool stuff that we're doing. Tonight, I wanted to do the first part. This will be kind of a two-parter because the other reason I haven't seen you guys is because I'm waiting on parts. That's why I'm like, come on, parts. So we'll be doing stuff on the Miata later this week. But tomorrow, the new fog lights show up for the Vipers. So I wanted to show you guys how to take out the old fog lights and put in the new fog lights, because there's not a lot of stuff out there about they show you how to replace the bulb, but not the entire assembly. And I'll show you one of the issues with pretty much all the Viper fog lights, but definitely the Gen 3 and Gen 4 cars. And I've done this before. I did this on my Gen 3 car, but it's been a minute or six. So it's been, I'm doing a refresher course on how to do this. Also, I was at my shop in Ohio, so I had all the tools. I had the lift, I had the wheels off, all this other stuff. So this will be a little bit different. This will be kind of for anyone that has some simple tools and needs to replace the bulbs. And I'll show you guys why the bulb replacement is a big deal. Now, on these cars, I'm going to tilt down just a little bit. One of the first things that happens when you drive these cars is rocks come up and road debris and whatever, and they shatter the lenses, and it's almost immediate. I mean, if you drive more than 100 miles, you're probably going to crack the lens on your fog light. And it's kind of a bummer, but that's just how the car is. That's how it's built. That's where all the road debris is. These suck in a lot of rocks, a lot of hardcore bugs, et cetera, et cetera. So they take a pretty serious pounding, and they're also very flat. Very flat. So stuff hits it, it's easy to break. Whereas stuff hits this, the headlight, it kind of comes up and shears off. So when it hits this, it breaks pretty quick. So here comes the fun part. These Viper fog lights from Dodge are like $200 a piece. So yeah, we're not doing that. What I found was Ford F-150, and I don't remember the certain year, the specific years, but Ford F-150 fog lights are the exact same thing. And you can get those for $50 a set. And it's the exact same housing, exact same everything. It takes the same bulb, everything. It's the same lens, all of that. It's just on a different vehicle. And there's a lot of crossover parts like that. One of the most notable ones is the headlights for Lamborghini Diablo are the same headlights as a Nissan 300ZX. So there's crossover parts like that that you find in different cars. So I'm going to bring so I don't have to hunch over like this the whole time. I'm going to bring the camera down here and I'm going to show you guys how to replace these. It's not that difficult. The biggest problem is these gigantic front tires. These are 275s up front. And so they take up a lot of space and you have a very limited amount of room to get in here. So I'll grab a light and I'll bring you guys down. Fully charged light, I think. It says it's charged, but it might not be. Not very many complicated tools with this either. It's a pretty straightforward. It's going to be the new new pedestal for you guys. I want to make sure it goes nice and low. So give me a second here. Bring you guys down here. And actually, you know what I'll do is I'll show you the front so you can see what happens with the fog lights. So it's kind of hard to tell, but these guys are definitely cracked. If I do that, you can see the cracks in them. And they crack, you know, both sides do it. I'm only going to show you guys one side. So they crack pretty quickly, and you know, it's disappointing, but unless you make it out of, you know, whatever, it's not going to sustain, or it's not going to take whatever kind of damage you throw at it. Now, if you look at this, I'm looking right here through here, and you guys can kind of see it. There's one of the mount screw holes. There's 3 in total around here. And also you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, there's some, you can't really tell. Oh, if I pull back, you can see there's some water in there at the bottom here. So it's time to replace those. Yep. So now I'll bring you guys back around to this side. And this is where we have to get into, is right in there. You can sort of see the access panel. Let me see if I can get you guys a better shot. I'm walking around on the floor here. Let me set this up here. Maybe that'll give us a slightly better shot. Maybe. There you go. So that's the little trap door back in here for the fog light, and he just unclips and you come out. But the problem is we have this big ass tire that's in the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to unlock the steering wheel, and we're going to move this tire. We're going to face it inward, and that'll give us a little more room to work here. So give me a second to move this tire. And it's just easier to get in the car than it is. Unlock the steering wheel. Hopefully the stereo doesn't come on. And we're at lock. Okay, so hopefully it stays there. Was kind of hoping that would give us more room, but it actually does not. So we are kind of worked here. Yeah, that actually might be less room. Let me try going the other way. I could have sworn I did this without taking the wheels off on the Gen 3. You can hear that rubber on the concrete. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I got it pretty close. So now we have much more room back here. I'm gonna try not to blind you guys. Much more room. And I think I should pop off. Got Looks like he's got a pin right there. There he goes. This is hard to do because I'm climbing over the laptop. So now we have access to not this guy, but our fog light, which is in here. So I'm going to move you guys around. So I'm going to come around this side. The whole reason I got a lift was so that I wouldn't have to crawl on the concrete floor. And here I am crawling around on the concrete floor. All right. So, yeah, you have one of these Christmas trees. I forgot about that guy. So, this guy you'll have to pull out. There is, because these are ambidextrous, these are work on both sides. So there's a hole on both sides, but there's not a hole for that. So these guys are reusable. You can just pull them out. But yeah, it's just this little tab and the two little prongs on the bottom. So we can set that guy to the side. Now our bulb is right here. We can unhook him, and he is just a click tab. He's got a little lock on him. And again, I'm doing this totally blind because I can't put my head in here where you guys are. So there's our plug. And he just has the little lock eye right there. And now if we really want, because I do want to save these bulbs. So I'm going to do about a quarter turn counterclockwise. And these are my super nice LED bulbs. These things are great. Really, really happy with these. So I'm going to save these bulbs. And now we have to get in here to the housing. And like I said, I'm doing this. I'm looking at it from this direction and feeling it from this direction. So I have one 8mm here. I have another 8mm here. And then I have a third 8mm on the back side. So they're little tiny 8mm screws. And it'll be pretty easy to take them out. I'm just going to grab a wrench quick. I say it's going to be pretty easy to take them out, right? You guys have heard that story before. And believe it or not, I've got another millipede in here. They've been pretty good lately. With the cold, there's condensation and they've stayed outside. But the last couple of days, I'm seeing 5 or 6 in here. So I'm just going to launch him quick. Get him back outside where there's water and food. Because there is no water and food for him in here. Or her in here. I don't know which it was. So 8mm. And I'm not sure which extension I'm going to need. So I just grabbed both. I'm going to try it first. Again, I'm doing this completely blind. Okay, so we'll use the long extension here. And it does not take much to get these little guys out of here. This is a regular, kind of like a sheet metal screw. It's going into plastic. Or I guess technically it's plastic. It's HDPE, high density polyurethane. So there's not a lot of torque on this. Just be careful not to lose the screw, especially if you have a big splitter like this. Wow, there's a lot of black in this picture, isn't there? Sorry, I should have worn a different color hoodie. Yeah, don't lose it like I just did. Okay, so there's one of our screws that comes out. Like you see, it's just pointed tip. It's like a sheet metal screw. It's got a tab on top. So there's 3 of those guys. I'm just set them in the tray. And I'm going to try. I don't know how to do this with you guys right there. Where are you, buddy? You're up here. If you guys saw the position that I was in right now, you would laugh hysterically. Okay. I should be able to get this by hand now. I'm trying to keep a good view for you guys. So this one's probably just going to fall out. If I can get my hand in there to save them, I will. There we go. So there's our second one. That's, I think, the hardest one. So what was the other one we had? 1, 2, and then the guy up top here. Too far. And again, I'm doing this the hardest way possible. Where is he? See, now that I have the other 2 out, I can flex this housing a little bit. And I get my finger past there. Now I'm going to hold the housing from the opposite side so that when this last screw comes out, it doesn't drop down. Sorry about the clicking. I was trying to get the wrench off, but I have to keep pressure on it or it's going to fall off. Okay, so now we get the wrench out. There you go. There's our fog light. Geez, hopefully there's enough room to get the fog light out. So here's our fog light. I'll come down here. And of course, all the boogery crap just emptied out onto my jeans. So there's our fog light. And you can see how cracked he is. Here is, all right, hang on. Let me dump the crap out of this. Yeah, there's some good algae in there. Okay. That's better. Yeah, this doesn't even have a Mopar tag on it. Oh, it does have a Mopar tag and a Mopar part number. Meridian lot code. So here's the fog light. And you can see the algae in here. Just water gets in and then it's kind of stuck in there and it'll grow. On the back, we have where our bulb goes in, and you can see right here he goes in, and then he's just a third of a turn. So that's how easy it is to replace the bulbs. If you can get LED bulbs for your fog lights, they're a lot more durable than the halogen ones, and they're going to last a lot longer. But if you have a broken lens like this with water in it, you're definitely going to want an LED in there versus a halogen one. So there's some water in the back. There's a Mopar part number here, and this is your height adjustment screw. So when you're in there, you can angle this up and down. You can't really angle it left or right, but you can angle it up and down. It does have a little swivel here, and you use this, and it's just a Phillips driver. And that's how you angle your fog lights up and down, because you can have one pointing up, one pointing down. So you do them up against a white wall like that at about 20 feet, and that'll help you angle them correctly. So we have our fog light housing out, and it is the exact same thing on the other side. You will have the same cover, but instead of, I don't know what box this is. I don't know what this is. I'd have to look it up. Instead of this box, you'll actually have the horn. So that's it. That's how you pull the fog lights out. Now tomorrow I'll show you the new fog lights. It'll have probably the same. It looks the same on the inside, and it'll have the same kind of lens. I really hope it does. If it doesn't, then hey, there's not much I can do. Maybe return it and get a different set, because these do work. They've got a ton of water in them. There's no weep hole on here. Oh, there's a Mopar part number. Yeah, this is an 1108 lens, PC, and top. It doesn't have a Mopar part number, but you can tell he's angled down a little bit just the way he sits in the cup. So I guess if you really wanted to, you can just pop them out of the, oh no, you can't, because the screw goes to that. So anyway, there's our fog light out. Not that difficult. And the tools we used were very, very straightforward. So 8 mil, what is this, 8-inch extension, and just a 1/4 drive ratchet. That's it. So we've got our 3 screws, and I'm going to bring you guys back up to the regular computer, or the regular stand, I should say. And close the door on the car. Don't really need that open. So give me a second here. There we go. And then I will angle you guys so you're not looking at the ground. So that's kind of how you pull the fog lights out. And like you can see, this guy is not in all that great of shape. He's been hit with a few rocks. And then, like I said, once the rock hits it and cracks it, water gets in there, and then water stays in there. The halogens might get warm enough to burn off moisture in there. The LEDs probably don't get hot enough to burn off moisture in there. So it's part of the deal. What's nice though is to not pay, the $200. If you want the OEM part, go for it. If you have to have OEM, sure, cool. But if you don't have to have OEM, especially on something that is going to break again, like I know those lenses are going to break again. So for me to spend $200, it's not really worth it. I get the exact same thing unless somebody pulls this out of it and looks on the back for a Mopar part number. They're not going to know. They're not going to know the difference. So I'm just curious if this guy's still Ames. Oh yeah, it still turns. So that's your adjustment screw for, and like I said, it's only up and down, or I should say up and down. It doesn't do left or right. So yeah, I don't see any other markings on this guy. You can see some label markings right there. Um, it says 1106, 1108, or sorry, 46008, 41108, lens PC, which means polycarbonate. So this stuff, I can't read what it says. It doesn't say. It has a Mopar part number in there. 05029 226AB. And that's the Mopar part number for this, just for the alignment housing. I don't have a part number for this. It might be somewhere else. It's not on the back. I don't know. Anyway, we have our new lights showing up tomorrow. And Amazon says between 4 and 8 p.m. So whatever the hell that means. So we'll get the new fog lights put in. That's how simple. And you guys can see where the water spilled on me. Tilt this up just a touch more because I'm not that short. So replacing the fog light bulbs is super easy in the Viper, and replacing the fog light assemblies themselves is actually pretty easy in the Viper. Again, this is for Gen 3 and Gen 4 cars. I have this weird habit about putting tools away. I'm weird like that. It's nothing worse than going to grab a tool and it's not there. So had to put those guys away. So you guys saw how easy that was. And you can do it on the ground. The wheel goes, turn the wheel outside. Don't turn the wheel inside. Turn the wheel to the outside. You can have access to that stuff. It's also a lot easier to do when you don't have a computer and a camera and other stuff in the way when you're trying to do it. But I wanted to make sure that you guys saw how it works. And now you can see also how those, I'll just show you really quick. Where's the screw? Oh my God. All right. Screws are running away from me. So this is how the screws were in there. So it was mounted in like that. And those screws, those three mounting screws are all you have. So now you know. That's it. That's how simple it is. And I'll go over, I'll do the other side. You guys don't want to watch it twice, I don't think. So I'll go over and do the other side. We'll both the headlights out. And then tomorrow we'll do another live where I'm putting the fog lights back in the car. So this way you can see how to do the installation. Also, how easy it is to replace those LED bulbs. With the LED bulbs, I'm trying to think, you actually do not need tools. If you get the right LED bulbs, they will literally be a plug and play. You can just drop the tab, pull it out, a third of a turn to take the bulb out, unplug it, new bulb in, third of a turn, plug it back in. So no tools for LED bulb replacements. If you guys want, someone send me a note and I'll tell you what bulb. I'll look around and see if I can find the bulbs that I put in this car, but they've been great. I've had them for a couple of years and not had any problems with them lighting up. if you do run your car without fog lights, you're going to get hyper flashing, and so you want to have some kind of load in there. The bulbs that I have are preloaded, so it fools the CAN bus system into thinking that it actually has an incandescent bulb in there or a halogen bulb in there. So um, you can get bulb deletes if you really want to. I don't know if they make covers, any kind of protective. I've seen the yellow stick-ons, which are kind of cool. If you're doing rally stuff, you can put the yellow stick-on lens covers, which is nice. But I haven't seen anything else that's like kind of soft and will take a hit. Maybe somebody makes a lens protector for this. You can also use hardware cloth. You can get a very fine hardware cloth, which is, people call it chicken wire, but it's not chicken wire. It's actually called hardware cloth. And you can get like a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch and cut it out to fit around this. And you can wrap it around. And then when you install the fog light, it should actually stay. You could actually form it to fit these mount holes too. That would be another way to protect these guys. So that's kind of my only suggestion. Otherwise, get them on the cheap because they're probably going to break. And if you have to have them from Mopar, then get them from Mopar. But otherwise, Ford F-150 fog light lenses. I'll look that back up and I'll put it in the description what years. If they fit, I'll put it in the description. I want to make sure these guys fit. And that's why I haven't thrown these in the dumpster right now, is because it doesn't fit. I can put these right back in and I'll still have fog lights in there until I find the set that does fit. But yeah, tomorrow morning we're supposed to get the new fog lights. So we'll get these replaced, and they'll actually look really nice too. So yeah, the chrome is kind of gone on these. I'm just putting my finger in there. Oh, I don't know what that is. I was trying to wipe away. Yeah, that's just moisture. It's kind of hard to see, but like the chrome is missing from inside here on the bottom, like where my pinky is. The chrome is gone. And also from the sides and from the back. So it's time to replace these anyway. This stuff only lasts so long. And like I said, if you absolutely positively have to have the Mopar ones, you can go get them. But I'm okay with doing Ford F-150 ones because I know they're going to break. So I appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. Hopefully this one was a quick and easy one for you. If you have any questions, definitely put them in the comments. Happy to answer anything. You guys also, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm pretty easy to find. And like I said, we've got other stuff coming up with the Miata, and then tomorrow we'll do this. So later this week, we'll be doing Miata stuff with cruise control, which should be really cool. We get cruise control back in that car, which is great because the weather is definitely improving, and the Miata is a ton of fun to drive. So we'll be doing Miata. We are going to have the limo back in here. Mark and I were working on the limo earlier today. So we'll have a ton of other stuff coming up for you guys. Like I said, if you have any questions, and if you have a car that you want to see in here or something specific, hey, how do I wire up my stereo? Hey, how do I change out my shocks? If there's something like that you guys want to see, shoot me a message and I'll get a vehicle in here, or I'll get the parts and do the explanation on, how to install it or how it works or whatever. I love doing that stuff. That stuff's really fun. And I guess that's about it. So keep coming at you this week with more and more stuff. And thank you to all the new subscribers. You guys are great. I really appreciate you guys. And thanks to everyone for spreading the word. I know that's the best form of advertising, and that's really cool. And, like I said, I don't get paid a dime for this, so I appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys like what I'm doing, and it shows. And that's really, really cool. And even if I did get paid for it, it would still be the same thing. Just with like better lighting, 2 more cameras, that sort of thing. So it'll be the same if if Elon stops by and drops $1 billion off in the driveway, it'll look exactly the same. So yeah, that's about it for tonight. I will definitely catch you guys tomorrow when we do the new one, if they fit. I of course I want to make sure they fit and they're the correct ones and they come with the cap and etc. So I'll double check to make sure everything is going to install correctly, but I actually want to install it. None of this fake ass stuff that you see. I just want to make sure it's the right one, the bulb fits, that sort of thing. So we'll do that tomorrow. That's it for tonight. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give them a kiss on the cheek, give them a kiss on the tip of their nose, hold their hand, give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but it's far more important for you. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have an awesome night and have a kick-ass week. Everyone, go watch the Artemis 2 launch. I know there was some kind of sports ball thing yesterday, whatever. Go watch the Artemis 2 launch. It's a huge, huge deal for mankind, humankind, people kind. Go watch the Artemis 2 launch. You want technology? That's where it's at. All right. I will catch you folks later. Have an awesome night. All right. Thanks. Look at that. Go fast, turn left.